Hi, I'm Dr. John Demartini, and I'd just love to have a few moments with you to get to share with you from my heart to your heart my journey through chiropractic. It was 1972 when I was living on the North Shore of Oahu, when I nearly died, that I got inspired one night meeting one man who shared one message named Paul Bragg, who inspired me to want to dedicate my life to teaching, healing, and philosophy. I started on my journey then, and I knew at that time, like many of you probably knew, that you wanted to be involved in healing. But along the journey from that point on, as I was going through my curriculum in school, all I had was a pre-med kind of a structure, and I really didn't find that I was fulfilled going in that direction. I knew and believed that we had inside us the power to heal. And it wasn't until I found out about chiropractic that I fell in love with that art and that science and that philosophy, because everything I had been studying and learning up until that point all of a sudden made sense. It was when I was in actually Machu Picchu, Peru, that I pulled out of my backpack as I was hitchhiking there a book called The Chiropractic Story that awoke in me to this amazing thing we have called chiropractic. You know what's so beautiful about it is you get to work with your hands and your heart and your mind, and you get to bring healing without any drugs, without any surgery. You don't have an excess of organs you got to cut out. You don't have a deficiency of drugs you've got to dispense. You get to work with your heart and hands and mind and watch miraculous transformations in people's lives just by your very presence, your skill, and your caring. So it was there that I learned about chiropractic, and I knew that I was a chiropractor. I got tears in my eyes when I read that book, and I just knew that I knew that that was my path. So let me just tell you the journey I've had. I enrolled in the chiropractic college. I fell in love with it even more. I got to study physiology. I got to study anatomy. I got to study everything I wanted to study and learn with a group of people that were dedicated to doing the same thing. And as I was going through school, I just loved practicing. I loved learning new things and trying out new skills. And by the time I got into the clinic and started practically working with people, I didn't want to leave clinic. I just loved going to the clinic. I loved working with people. And it was really inspiring to be able to be a chiropractor. When I graduated in 1982, I couldn't find any doctor I really wanted to work with. I had my own beliefs about how I wanted to do it, and I had accumulated all the things that I thought I wanted to do in my practice, and I went out on my own and as an entrepreneur and started in this little 900 square foot office. But 9 months later I expanded it to a 2,100 square foot office, and 9 months later I had a 5,000 square foot office and a bunch of doctors working for me. And I tell you what, there's nothing more inspiring to be able to go to work, do what you love to do, get handsomely paid to do it, watch miracles happen in your life with your hands and your heart and your mind, and watch lives change, watch societies change. It was Margaret Mead who said, never underestimate the significance of a small group of people in making a difference in the world, for in fact it's the only thing that ever did. And I'm just wondering, imagine what it was like for D.D. Palmer to have the first adjustment and then catalyze his family to go for it, and then all his friends, and let it grow. And here we are 115 years later almost. And here we are across the world in almost every country, sharing our heart and souls and our hands and minds with people and watching miracles occur across the planet. One idea at the right time, whose time has come, made this difference. And now I wonder what would happen if you became the acorn on the mighty oak that you're capable of bringing to this world, and you did the same thing. I imagine what would happen 110, 15 years from now from your efforts. I wonder what happened if you dedicated your life to something amazing with chiropractic and went out of your way and did everything that most people aren't willing to do and went and did the extraordinary. I always say, give yourself permission to do something extraordinary with your practice. If you want to make a difference in yourself, you've got to give a vision, allow yourself a vision at least as big as your family. If you want to make a difference in your family and make a contribution to your family, you need a vision as big as your community. If you want to make a difference and be a leader in your community, you have to have a vision as big as your city. If you want to make a difference in your city, be #1 chiropractor in the city, you've got to give yourself permission to have a statewide vision. If you want to be #1 in the state, a global vision, a national to a global vision. But if you want to leave a legacy on the planet like the Palmers did, and all the followers that have turned through history and chiropractic towards that, I'm telling you, if you have an astronomical vision, you have a global life. That's what happened to me. I set out to make a difference across the globe in anything to do with teaching, healing, and philosophy. Chiropractic became the philosophy and the cornerstone of what I teach today and what I do today. I'm not practicing full-time today. I'm outreaching people with the message of chiropractic across the world. In fact, just this morning I had the opportunity. I'm in South Africa at this moment, and I spoke to about 150 company leaders, CEOs and things, and I talked about the intelligence of the universe, and I talked about how we are basically part of a bigger scheme. I talked about innate. And so you don't want to forsake that. The world is ready for that. Some of the greatest minds, greatest philosophers, greatest scientists are thirsty for that understanding that we represent in the chiropractic profession. So we're the pioneers of the health profession. We're the leaders of the wellness movement. We've been willing to do the things that professions now are just learning about. So be proud of what you do. Be inspired by what you do. You're doing amazing things, and I assure you, when you go into practice, if you're not in practice, and now that you're in practice, document what you do. Every day, count your blessings. Think about what you do, because sometimes you get so used to making miracles that you take them for granted. Document them. The world needs what you have. When you go in there with your heart and mind and soul and adjust the subluxation and minimize subluxations and maximize life, you change not only their physical structure, not only their physical physiology, but you affect their relationships, you affect their business, you affect their social life, you affect their spiritual quest, their mental capacities. All areas of their life is being impacted. Even their family dynamics are being changed by your adjustment. An adjustment means add, which means move to center, just means move to balance, and ment means the mind. When you qualitatively go in there with a centered, present, powerful, purposeful, patient, inspired mind, with certainty and gratefulness and love for what you do, it's impossible not to have miraculous transformations in your practice. And as big as you want it, you can have it. And all you have to do is care enough about humanity to dedicate your life to bringing chiropractic to the world. And watch what happens. It started with me back in those days in the 70s and then 80s, and all I know is today I get to travel the world and I get to share the chiropractic message wherever I go. So be grateful for what you have, get inspired by the vision of chiropractic, and bring it to the people, because every time we minimize subluxations, we maximize life across planet Earth.